Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
Step one accomplished. The Indians ended the first half with a 6.5 game lead in the AL Central. Step two, keep the foot on the gas and win the division. That starts with winning series, something the Tribe has not done yet this season against the Twins. All-star Francisco Lindor leads the second half charge. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Couldn't ask for a better day. Just absolutely gorgeous here in the Twin Cities as the Indians invade Target Field in downtown Minneapolis, embarking on a 9-game, 10-day road trip right out of the All-Star break. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. We have said it before. It may sound like a broken record, but to win the division, you must win in the division. And Rick, so far, the Indians have the best divisional record in all of baseball.
They've done a wonderful job to this point. You can see 15 games over the 500 mark, 26-11. They've taken care of business. The only other team above the 500 mark, Kansas City, who's 21-12. Now, Minnesota, 6-21, but 4 of those 6 wins in this division have come against the Indians this year, and we're going to start it out again with a 3-game series here in Minnesota.
Go figure. Minnesota, as bad as things have been for them this year, they've beaten the Indians 4 out of 6, and they've beaten the Rangers 5 out of 7. They have the best record in the American League as we start post-All-Star break baseball here tonight. Carlos Carrasco gets the start on the hill. He'll lead an Indians pitching staff that leads the American League in pitching.
He's going to try and get him off on a right foot coming here in the second half. He's coming off a rough start in his last outing against the Yankees at home to end and go into the break, but he's coming right back out. He's 1-5 in his career against Minnesota, 0-2 in this ballpark, but he's going to try and get it started off correctly. Trevor Bauer will follow suit tomorrow. In tomorrow's ball game, Josh Tomlin will finish it out on Sunday, and then the first 2 guys, it'll be Kluber and Salazar, who will match up in Kansas City as we head down the road on this road trip.
All right, we'll be back with more from Target Field in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota. We'll do it downstairs and check in with Andre Knott on the Indians' latest roster move. That's straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Minnesota as the Indians and Twins get set to square off their third meeting on the year, and so far it's been all Minnesota. Before we get the game underway tonight, let's go down to Andre Nadeau, who has news on another roster move for the Tribe.
Yes, another roster move for the Tribe. The bullpen will be a little different. It'll be a seven-man bullpen without a left-handed pitcher. TJ House is back with Columbus, and Eric Gonzalez has been called up to make his major league debut with the Indians. Now, Gonzalez came up as a shortstop, and as Terry Francona said earlier today, he doesn't expect or hope that he'll have to play shortstop for the Indians. They're going to play him a little bit at third. They're going to play him a little bit at left field, right field, as well as center field. They're going to try to play him in that Mike Martinez position to see how he fits in with that. Right now, they're just trying to find the best fit for this 25-man roster as they get closer to the trading deadline, guys.
Well, you know, it's Michael Martinez is what they're trying, the hole they're trying to fill. That's something Martinez used to do before, you know, Boston ended up picking him up off the waiver line. So, you know, we'll see. They're going to go with their everyday players right now. I don't think you worry about a 25-man on your roster.
And like Terry Francona said, he's not sure exactly how they're going to use Eric Gonzalez. Only time will tell. We're just about ready for baseball. We're back with tonight's first pitch between the Indians and the Minnesota Twins as the Tribe gets back to work, trying to secure a postseason berth, a Central Division championship. It's all within their sights now. A beautiful setting for baseball as the Indians are all set to go after the Minnesota Twins. It's a team that's had their numbers so far this year. Minnesota took 2 of 3 here at Target Field. They also took 2 of 3 from the Tribe in May in Cleveland. Minnesota has taken the field behind Irvin Santana. And we'll get a look at the Indians starting lineup tonight, brought to you by Progressive. For Terry Francona, it'll be Carlos Santana leading it off, 9th in the American League with 20 home runs. Jason Kipnis will bat second. Francisco Lindor, the all-star shortstop, hitting third. Mike Napoli, Jose Ramirez, and Lonnie Chisenhall in the middle. Then it's Yan Gomes, Tyler Naquin, and Rajai Davis batting ninth.
And the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher, Irvin Santana, 6'2", 175 pounds. He's 33 years old. And Santana, 3-7, a 4.06 ERA in his start against Cleveland this year. He pitched a good one. They pitched 6 innings, had a walk and 5 strikeouts. They got the win. That coming back in Cleveland, May 14th. That was his first win of the year. But, you know, he has struggled, but he's pitched better lately, and he's a better second-half pitcher than he is a first-half pitcher. But in his career, he has had his troubles with the Indians, just 5-10. Let's set the defense behind him tonight, and it looks like this for Minnesota. They are rated dead last, and that's uncharacteristic of a Minnesota team. They have made 62 errors. It's Grossman in left, Buxton in center, Kepler is in right. It'll be Sano at third, Nunez at short, Dozier is at second, Mauer at first, Suzuki behind the plate.
We believe these are the correct umpires and their positions for tonight. Larry Vanover has the plate. He's the veteran crew chief. And we believe Adam Hamari is now at second base. Originally, those two were flip-flopped. Alfonso Marquez at first, David Rackley at third. Terry Francona, his club has been one of baseball's best in the second half since he came to Cleveland. You know, you talk about the Indians' record since 2013, his first year at the helm. After the All-Star break, the Indians have played .567 baseball. Only the Dodgers, Royals, Cardinals, and Pirates have been better since then after the All-Star break. And there is no time to be letting up, even with a 6.5 game lead. As Carlos Santana leads it off, Irvin Santana's first pitch is down and in, ball one.
You know, you talk about it and the way things shape in the second half. What we haven't talked about it, their last 23 games of the year come within their own division.
Yep.
So, you know, if they can continue to keep playing like they have, man, it bodes well for the Indians.
Santana takes a strike, and that evens the count. I guess, Rick, there are some fans, understandably, are wondering, is the 14-game win streak that they witnessed, is that more representative of what this team's all about, or the team that lost 6 out of 9 going into the All-Star break?
Look, neither. They're in between, because, you know, nobody in Indians history has ever won 14 straight before. They just got on a roll, and it was so much fun to watch. And then, you know, the way they go out, hey, after winning streaks, a lot of times losing streaks happen. So, you know, it just follows. And it's the ebbs and flows of a major league season. The key is consistency. You go out there, you try and win the series. These guys are they've been really focused throughout the course of the year. And we watched them go through that streak. They were very focused. One game at a time. You don't get ahead of yourself.
Well, the key to winning a series often is winning that first game, and this year the Indians are 18-11 in series openers. Irvin Santana facing Carlos Santana. And the 2-2 is fouled off as Carlos stays alive.
Santana, the good fastball, about 94. He's got the changeup, and he's got a good slider. You'll see his slider usually goes straight down. So we'll see. He'll get that pitch rolling. He can be awfully tough.
Santana ropes that foul, and he might have cracked his bat. He'll go to the rack and get a new one. Keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Get to Irvin Santana before he gets to that put-away slider and play solid defense behind Carlos Carrasco, which for the most part the Indians have done this year. They had one really sloppy game on Sunday going into the All-Star break. That
was terrible, but you know what? Every team has a game like that. It was just one of those games where you said it's about time the break comes.
Overall, Rick, Minnesota is dead last in the American League in pitching with a .497 earned run average.
Dead last in pitching, dead last in defense. And normally the Twins are always a pretty good defensive club.
Santana's down on strikes.
Change up.
It appeared to be.
You watch the changeup, it'll go down and maybe away. If it's that circle change, you can see he turns it over a little bit. And that's his third weapon.
So one away for Jason Kipnis. Minnesota's defense has committed a league worst 62 errors. And obviously when that happens, it forces the pitchers to have to try to pick up that defense. And when the pitching's having a tough time pitching in general, that's a bad combination.
Yeah, and plus you have, you know, guys filling in for other guys from injuries, and they've had guys bouncing all over the ballpark. Sano was out in right field to start. Plouffe's hurt. He's back. He's playing third again. I mean, when you look at Santana and look at the numbers the Indians have with him, they don't have very good numbers. There's a pitch. That's a little low on our Nissan pitch tracker, but called a strike.
Well, Jason didn't like the pitch prior to that either.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to start calling them like that, okay, be ready to go. That's the low strike. And there's that slider that we told you about. He throws it into the left-handers and it goes straight down.
But a hitter will tell you that that's an at-bat where he feels like the umpire took the bat out of his hands. He's almost forced to swing at this pitch.
Well, when you're starting to call him that low, yes. But that one was a slider one the other way, and that was way in off the plate.
Back-to-back Ks for Irvin Santana and now Francisco Lindor. Said he had a fantastic time at the All-Star game representing the Indians along with his teammates Corey Kluber, Danny Salazar. And the American League emerged victorious, which means whichever American League team makes it to the Fall Classic, they have home field advantage. And Corey Kluber ended up the winning pitcher for the American League.
Well, 6 out of the last 7 World Series have been decided by the home team. So it bodes well for the American League.
Now that's called, he's calling a low strike.
Well,
does that look low?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the first pitch in this at bat was a strike. That one was low. He didn't call the fastball that had the plate. So it looks like it's going to be a low strike zone tonight, fellas.
Santana tries the right side of the infield, but Dozier flags it down, and the Indians go 1-2-3. The Twins are coming to bat when we come back. Features Eduardo Nunez, the All-Star, leading it off, followed by Joe Mauer, then Miguel Sano. Big slugger hitting third. Brian Dozier, Max Kepler, and Kenny Vargas. Robbie Grossman, Kurt Suzuki, and Byron Buxton batting ninth.
And the Honda starting pitcher for the Indians, Carlos Carrasco, 5-3 on the year. A nice 247 earned run average on the road. He's 3-2 with a 182. And set to make his 10th career start against the Twins. His numbers do not look very good against Minnesota. 1-5 in his career, 0-2 in Target Field, and this is his 5th start here.
And a fastball strike to Nunez. Fresh off his first All-Star game appearance. This guy is having a fantastic year. And easily Minnesota's most productive player. He is 6th in the American League in batting average. He's got 30 multiple hit games. And he's also 3rd in the league in stolen bases with 22.
It's like he came out of nowhere.
Pop back out of play. A bobble, but a nice catch by the fan behind.
Boy, he tipped it up.
The plate.
Yeah, he just knocked it. It's like getting a rebound and just knock it over to your right, grab it. Nice play.
Nunez down the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Popped him up, right center field, and it will be Lonnie Chisenhall who pulls it down, 1 away.
Let's set that Indians defense for you. Brought to you by Jeep. It's Davis in left, Naquin at center, Chisenhall in right, Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis at second, Napoli at first with Gomes doing the catching.
Carlos Carrasco has a shutout under his belt this year. 1 of 7 thrown by the Indians on the season. They lead the league in shutouts, in earned run average. They've given up the fewest hits and the fewest runs overall. They're second in the league in strikeouts, averaging 8.5 per 9 innings. And then have done a good job in walks, averaging fewer than 3 per 9 innings.
Yeah, we want to see those strikeouts come when you need them, because this starting staff, when they can go out there, and we talk about a lot, pitch to contact, get outs on 3 pitches or less, they can end up going 7 solid innings every time out, and we've witnessed that throughout the streak.
Mauer fouls it off to the left.
You know, their last time through the lineup, they had a few issues. They couldn't get deep into the ball game, and it makes a difference when your starters cannot get you into that 6th and 7th inning. That's one reason why the Twins have been playing a lot better. Not only are they scoring a lot of runs, but their starters are going deep into a ball game and take a lot of pressure off the bullpen.
Mauer
Good
checks.
pitch.
It sure looked like a strike, but not called by Larry Vanover.
Well, it was a changeup. It was a good pitch down and away. Let's take a look at it.
Well, that was a strike to Jason Kipnis without a doubt during his at bat. That's what'll drive players crazy. Now the 1-2, and that's in the dirt. Offensively, Minnesota sports a team batting average of .253. That's 10th overall in the American League. They're 10th in runs scored. And get this, they're 13th. Only 2 teams have left more men on base than the Twins. Right back through the middle, and it's through. So Mauer takes advantage of an extra strike in the at-bat, and he singles into center field.
Well, they wanted that pitch up in the end, and Gomes, he gave him that target in. He left it away, and that enabled Mauer to at least get hit it on the ground and get on top of it to get it through for a base hit. He didn't really hit his location there. But it's upstairs. They wanted it in.
There is Miguel Sano, Twins third baseman. He has tremendous power. In his last 129 big league games, he's hit 30 home runs and driven in 80.
Well, he's a big dude, man. He's about 250, 260 pounds.
And there's a big swing and a miss, 1-1.
It's a changeup that he swings over the top, up, down, and in. Here's a guy that, you know, with Plouffe, when they re-signed Plouffe, who was going to play third base. So no, that's usually what he does, play third base. They had him out in right field. He's not an outfielder. He's had some issues out there. And he's back at third base now that Plouffe is on the DL.
And there's a base hit to center field. And the Twins have back-to-back one-out hits here in the opening frame.
There it is. Fastball, didn't get it away. That was like middle third going away. It didn't get to the outside edge. Sano gets enough of it to get it through. He's a big, strong guy. The Twins have hit 28 homers in their last 14 games. That's what's helped them with a 7-3 record in the month of July. They're averaging just about 8.5 runs a game in their last 9.
That'll get you a lot of wins.
Yes, it will. Well, it'll get you a lot of wins. It takes pressure off your pitchers. So right now, Carrasco's got to come out and make a pitch.
And Brian Dozier, not your, let's call him prototypical 4-hole hitter. But he is a guy with good power, and he likes to pitch up.
Yeah, he likes the pitch belt high and up to that letters. And he can get on top of a fastball no matter how hard you throw. But you know, you see guys, and this year it's like us. We see Jose Ramirez hitting the number 5 hole when you got bigger guys and, you know, guys with a lot more power. But just a matter of getting the right guy in the right spot, I guess, for your ball club. We see some of the best hitters in the game hitting second.
Yeah.
In a lot of lineups when you think about it.
Oh man, ball gets away, and the runners advance to second and third. So there goes the double play possibility.
Yeah, that one no chance for Gomes, right out of the hand of Carrasco, and that takes the double play out of order. So a ground ball will get the Twins a lead here early, if he can put it in play.
And this is where we talked about the strikeouts. This is where you need the strikeout.
Yeah, this would be a nice time to get one. Strikeout or a pop-up.
And the 2-2 broke his bat. Naquin makes the catch, tagging his Mauer. He's coming home, and the throw goes towards third. Minnesota takes a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, there's a difference. That one wild pitch gives him a run, gets him on the board. So Minnesota will play from in front tonight. 44th RBI for Dozier.
And with 2 down, Max Kepler to the plate. In the air to left. This should end the inning as Rajay Davis comes in and makes the catch. But Minnesota parlays a pair of hits and a wild pitch into the game's first run. 1-0 lead. And Mike Napoli to lead off inning number 2 for Cleveland. Santana with the fastball right down the middle. Slider away. Napoli lays off and the count evens at 1-1.
Napoli, a guy that has good numbers against Santana. He has 3 homers, hitting .364 and 22 at bats.
Took a little something off, and Napoli swings through 1-2.
Well, we can see now through this first inning and now a hitter that Santana's not afraid to use that changeup, and he's not afraid to double up with it, and he'll throw it to both the righties and the lefties.
And off the plate, not by much.
It's a good pitch, though, after that changeup. Now he sets up his slider is what he does. Goes to his best pitch because you go back inside, knock him off the plate, keep him honest in there. Let's see if he goes back to his slider, which is, I think, his best pitch. Yes,
Hammered.
he did.
Deep left center field, and that baby is off the wall. Napoli's going to have to hurry. And the throw is in time, and he is out by a bunch. The only question would be, could Dozier hold on to it after the ball bounced on the throw? But it was there in plenty of time.
And you know, that slider was inside. He got it, but not like he can hit a ball. It goes off the wall, but this is a couple of times now. Napoli does not read it well. He's got to put on the brakes sometimes when that guy can get it off the wall when he hits it so hard. He did that a couple times in Cleveland this year. He hits one off the wall and he just keeps right on running instead of picking the baseball up and stopping to go back to first base, so he's thrown out at second. Hit it well low, and he did get the slider.
Jose Ramirez lifts one out of play. Slashing it foul off to the left again. Hit pretty well to center, but Byron Buxton has an easy play. 2 down. Our stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. As you take a look at what the Twins have done this year, they just recently won 5 out of 7 against Texas. And of course, they have won 2 out of 3 twice against the Indians. But against the rest of the baseball, against the rest of baseball, it's been a different story.
Yeah, you know, every team's going to have their ups and downs. They're going to have their good teams they played against. They've played very well against the Western Division as well. They are 15-10 against the West in the American League, but against everybody else they've really struggled, and against the Central just 6-21.
Lonnie Chisenhall shoots one the other way, but it's foul. Nice basket catch, brought the glove. Paid off. And he tries to shoot it through the hole on the left side, but Sano cuts it off, and the Indians are out here in the second. 1-0 Minnesota. here at Target Field. Kenny Vargas will lead it off. Vargas has worked his way back into the lineup here in Minnesota, back from the minor leagues, and boy, he's done it in a big way. Saw the numbers 8 for 17 since the call back.
Well, he was named Player of the Week in 6 games, where he hit .471. Yeah, 3 homers, 5 doubles, 4 ribbies, 6 walks.
He's listed at 6'5", 290 pounds. It's more like an offensive lineman.
That's a nice little backdoor slider right there on the outside edge by Carrasco.
Got in on him, fouled it back. Swung out and missed. He strikes him out. That's his first strikeout this evening. 1 down.
We'll make this our Circle K strikeout, and it's an excellent location. You see, you're getting the low pitch. Now, if you can hit low in the zone and then go to this when you get to 2 strikes, I don't see how a hitter can stand a chance, especially when the umpire's calling that low strike. So you really want to establish that low strike early in the count if you can.
Here's Robbie Grossman, who went to spring training with the Indians, but couldn't win a job on the big league club. Went to AAA, played for the Clippers. Hit .256.
Didn't he have an out in his contract?
He opted out on May the 16th. He only had 6 homers in 35 games at Columbus, but he came here to Minnesota, jumped right in the lineup, and began hitting immediately. And in the 29 games that he's played here at Target Field, he's batted over 300. Those things are a mystery, why it may work one place and not somewhere else. Swung on a miss. It's 2-2.
I think it's a matter of getting an opportunity. He wasn't going to get the opportunity to play in the outfield for the Indians, so you go down there and you try and keep your career going. And he had an opt-out, so he says, all right, I got to try my chances somewhere else. It doesn't look like I'm going to get a chance. In Minnesota, he had some outfielders hurt, so he comes out, gets an opportunity. Has done a good job for him.
Ramirez makes a terrific running catch in foul territory for out number 2.
Now that's a shortstop's play right there. You see him just put his head down, and also playing the outfield, where he could take his head off the baseball and just ran to a spot. And I mean, he caught up with it, and the crowd was a little surprised he got there. That's really a nice play by Ramirez.
My initial thought was, well, he doesn't have a chance, and then
he outran it.
He did.
That's an athletic play, being a third baseman, to make a play like that.
So with 2 gone, Kurt Suzuki the batter. Suzuki, a guy with a good eye, patient approach. And of course, he swings at the first pitch.
Patient. Come on, Matty.
1, 2, 3 go the Twins. Carrasco cruises through inning 2. Minnesota leads it 1-0. Tune later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Just as we're coming back from break, Rod Carew was introduced to the crowd. He was honored at the All-Star game.
Boy, was he ever.
The announcement that the American League Batting Champion Award will now be called the Rod Carew Award.
Yeah, that's it. And in the National League, Tony Gwynn. I think that's great. For Rod Carew, won 7 batting titles in his career.
Yeah, great to see him here in attendance tonight.
Yes, it is. If they'll have him on next door throughout the course of the game, maybe tonight.
Yan Gomes awaits the 1-1 pitch down low. Bottom third of the Indians lineup here in inning 3. Gomes, Tyler Naquin, and Rajai Davis. And a good patient approach for Gomes. It's 3-1. Twins have a shift, 3 on the left side for the right-handed hitting Gomes. And he takes fastball away. Full count. Hung a slider.
Yeah, he did. He had one to hit right there, but he hung it. And again, that's why we say Gomes is a good low ball hitter, because here's what normal people would get a mistake pitch there. Well, he likes the ball down a little more with his slight uppercut, so he has a tough time getting on top of that pitch.
Again, the 3-2. That backed up on him. And with the shift on, Dozier ran a long way to get it. 1 down. Take a look at our Kia in the driver's seat right now. The Indians run differential before the All-Star break at +81. Since 1960, one of their best ever.
Yeah, that you like to see.
Here's Tyler Naquin. Takes down low, ball 1. Tyler Naquin has hit all 9 of his home runs since June the 1st. He's one of 23 major league players who've hit 9 or more homers since the calendar turned to June. But if you listen to Terry Francona and Indians coaches, they're not surprised, because they've seen the power. They knew it was there. It was just a matter of how long it would take for him to sort of be able to showcase it.
Well,
how would it translate from batting practice to games?
Everything we heard about, Tyler before when he was called up, he's not a power hitter. He's a line drive hitter. He's this, he's that. People, there's kids that can come up to the major leagues and get better. They're better against major league pitching than they are. It's just a matter of finding yourself up here, learning your zone. He's another low ball hitter, and he realizes that.
Well, Tyler with a good eye draws a walker. I don't know how a guy gets stuck with some of those labels, because Rick, I watched him in spring training, and I'm saying to myself, this guy, I'm watching the ball explode off, and I know it's Arizona and the ball carry, but I'm watching him hit balls that usually only the big boys hit him out there. And Ty Van Berkeley said, when he barrels the ball up, it goes to all parts of the yard.
I think sometimes a lot of people are afraid to say, oh yeah, this guy can hit 15 or 20 and put the pressure on him. And I think they try and, low key it, to be honest with you.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Same thing I heard about Lindor. He can't hit, he doesn't drive the ball. This kid can hit from both sides of the plate, and, it's just stuff you hear. That's why it's hard to make a judgment on a player
until you see him.
Until you know, you see him with your own eyes, and then you can form your own opinion on what you think.
Rajai Davis fouls it back. Well, Rajai Davis passed the eye test for us years ago.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of, boy, if the Indians could ever find a way to get him on their roster, you knew he would fit. And, well, he has fit in perfectly.
Mr. Business. He's all business. Walks into that clubhouse ready to go every day. Goes about his business and does it very well. He's blessed with speed. He realizes it, and he knows it disrupts defenses, and it's rubbed off on this team that has good, you know, some speed, and it's rubbed off on a lot of other players as far as base running goes. That's just one part of the game that I don't think a lot of teams care about. They do anymore because most guys don't run. When you can put pressure on defenses, boy, it certainly makes a difference throughout the course of the year. And the Indians have been a much better base running team. Going first to third, second home. Not necessarily base stealing, although they have been they're second in the league in base stealing, and this is the #1 reason why.
Chased one, and he strikes out. That's the third strikeout for Santana. 2 down in the inning. And let's go downstairs to Andre Knott as Carlos Santana comes to the plate.
Well, as Carlos comes up, I talked to him prior to the game tonight about his how he's hit well here in Minnesota, and he says he didn't know why. And then he smiled at me and he told me every guy that's hit home runs here well, like him, like Jose Bautista. He says he just likes hitting here. He says he likes the background, and he says he's played enough games here where he's comfortable with a lot of the pitchers. But it was funny to me that he acted like he didn't know about it, and then he started naming off names that have hit home runs. He knows his status and where he's at when it comes to playing the Twins.
You betcha. Dumb as a fox, huh? They know everything. They realize, especially when you have parks that you hit well. Santana knows he's right there.
Well, Carlos has been in a pretty good groove overall when you consider that he's hit half of his home runs this year in the last 27 games. And he has surged into the top 10 in the American League in home runs.
Well, he had a total of 19 last year, and he's at 20 now. So. And 4 leadoff home runs for the Indians this year.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the amazing thing. So you look up and you're leading 1-0.
That's the score the Twins lead by here in the third. With Naquin at first base and 2 down. Santana jolts one to deep right field. Back is Kepler. It's going to be over his head and off the wall. Boy, did he play that well, though, and he's going to keep Naquin from scoring and hold Santana to a long 2-out single.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that he got it off the first bounce. Kepler got that ball, and Santana did the right thing. He picked it up and stopped at first base, but he got swinging room there. And when you played it that nicely off the wall, that stopped Naquin from being able to score. So Santana flirts with a homer, goes off the wall. Tuck in your pockets, please. Put the gloves in there. He keeps it going. Now the Indians with 2 outs have a chance to score.
Now Jason Kipnis looking for a big 2-out hit here in the third. Outfield shades him just a bit toward left. And he takes the first pitch strike. Urban Santana's thrown 30 of his 50 pitches for strikes. And there's that slider down and in. That's what he struck him out with his first time up.
That's the pitch. It's off the plate. It's like the left-hander throwing that back foot slider to the right-handers that they can't lay off. That's not a strike right there, but you continue to swing at it, it will be.
Ground ball to Dozier. And the inning is over. No runs, a hit, 2 left. Middle of the third, it's Minnesota 1, Cleveland 0.
At Bat app. You stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Byron Buxton leading off the bottom of the third for Minnesota, and he fouls the first pitch out of play. Buxton is just 22 years old, still one of the highly touted prospects in the Twins system, getting an opportunity here at the big league level. He's hit in his last 6 games going into the All-Star break.
Yeah, this is his first game back. He had a collision with the wall going after a ball and hurt his knee before the break and missed a few games heading into it.
Ground ball to Lindor. He can fly down the line. Lindor just does throw him out. Our player profile courtesy of Levin Furniture. Carlos Carrasco getting the start tonight. Man, hard to believe that was 7 years ago the Indians acquired him in the Cliff Lee deal. And ever since he went back into the starting rotation after his days looked like they may have been near an end with the Indians organization, he has been a fantastic starting pitcher. I think it's safe to say that at times and for long stretches he has pitched like an ace. Nearly threw a no-hitter last year.
Yeah, he got into the second half of last year. He had a great ERA. It didn't translate into wins. A lot of times they didn't score for him when he was out there, but he kept you in the ball games. Boy, he's had a couple of nice rolls. And you're right. You talk about no-hitters in the perfect game. That he had a few of them.
Out of play.
He had a nice string going, about 5 or 6 quality starts before his last start against the Yankees. At home, it didn't work out well. That was his second shortest start of the year. That was his shortest start if you consider when he came out of Detroit when he hurt the hammy.
Yeah. Just a bit low. And it's 2-2.
It's his 7th start this year against Central Division opponents, and his record is 2-1 and an ERA right at 2.
Goes to the fastball, and Kipnis throws him out. It was interesting, the pitch selection there. Gomes wanted a changeup. Carrasco shook him off. Fastball away. Sometimes I often wonder if that's how the pitcher feels about a certain pitch, or if he's trying to outthink the hitter as far as what he wants to throw. A lot of times I know it's just what they feel comfortable, what they feel good about throwing.
Well, yeah, you know, catcher's going to put down the fingers. He may feel you want, or he's watching the hitter, but you as a pitcher also, you know, you have the final say so. And a lot of times you get to 2 strike, you'll see guys going with that breaking ball. There's nothing wrong with throwing that heater in if you can get it in there. You know, depending on the hitters, the hitters will expand their zone when they get to 2 strikes. And the Indians have 3 of the best at it. When you're talking about pitchers, when they get to 2 strikes, and I'm talking about Kluber, Salazar, and Carrasco, you get them to 2 strikes, and even Barr, they're unhittable. To the tune of about $120.
This time, Carrasco agrees the changeup's the way to go here. And Mauer tops it for a foul ball, 2-2.
And it was the way to go. You don't see Mauer swing too many times and, you know, get over top of a baseball. Normally when he fouls it off, it's going to be down the 3rd baseline or into the left field, you know, seats. He stays back on the ball and probably as late as anybody. Never tries to pull a ball. So if you get that changeup, you better get it down. He got up on a fastball his first at bat. Yes, he did.
He went around, and Carrasco strikes him out to end the inning. Twins go 1-2-3. 1-0 Minnesota. We've played 3 here at Target Field. Fourth inning, Carlos Carrasco talking to Mickey Callaway. Carrasco giving up a run in the first on back-to-back singles and a wild pitch, and then a sacrifice fly, getting Minnesota's only run home. Carrasco has retired 8 straight. Irvin Santana goes to work here in the fourth. Francisco Lindor leading off, and a breaking ball in for a strike. Lindor, 10th in the American League in batting average coming into play tonight. He's also 9th in the American League in stolen bases. Down and in. Same pitch, same result. Lindor with 31 multi-hit games, but 16 of those were 3-hit games.
I know, I was going to say over half of them are 3-hitters, 3-hit games.
And that goes to the backstop, and the Indians have their leadoff man aboard.
It's good at bat.
Let's go down to Andre, who has some thoughts on Irvin Santana.
Well, the game plan for the Indians coming into tonight was to stay off the 2 strikes balls that were not over the strike zone. Ty Van Berkeley said basically he nibbles when he gets to 2 strikes. He makes you work and he makes you earn, getting on base. So he said you got to be patient with him. He knows hitters hit differently with 2 strikes, but he nibbles until you make him come over the plate. So their game plan is to get the ball over the plate at the end of the day.
A lot of pitchers try to pitch like that. They get ahead early and then expand your zone, and you have to still remain patient and trust yourself. But how many hitters that we talk about can really hit with 2 strikes or have the confidence to do that? Guys that are going good, sometimes that happens. But boys, you'll see the patience of the hitters. The good guys, the good starters never give in. And if you're patient enough, and then somebody you hope will get one up that they like, and they can hit one out of here with a couple guys on. Napoli came close.
Oh, did he take a big swat there? Napoli tied for 5th in the AL in runs batted in with 61. Lindor held at first by Mauer. And it's close. He just did beat the tag. I couldn't tell if he was leaning or if he just had trouble getting his feet started getting back to the bag, but it was close.
Well, you see how that left leg, that left foot lifted up?
Yeah.
And he couldn't, he had nothing to push him to the bag. He had to wait till his momentum came down there, and it was almost too late. 1 foot was off the ground there. That was a good shot.
Molitor is checking with his replay guy to see if he wants to challenge.
He knew it was close. Lindor only had 1 leg, and it wasn't pushing it all the way. Forget about it. He was back in time.
Challenged him with a fastball, and it's 0-2.
Napoli got a slider in his first at bat and just hit it off the wall. He just never stopped running. As Buxton ended up making a really good play. It's really a better pick there by Dozier to apply the tag.
Low and away.
See, here comes the nibbling now. He's ahead 0-2, and he's going to try and see if he can get Napoli to chase something that is out of the strike zone.
Back out of play. Checks the swing, slow roller to third. And the throw gets by Mauer. On his way to third is Lindor. Napoli will go to second. The Indians catch a huge break on an errant throw by third baseman Miguel Sano.
Well, there's a play that he only had the one out, so that's the only one he had to get was Napoli, and his throw was wide, and he didn't get it to Mauer, so that's got to be an error right there. He had plenty of time. He fielded the ball with his glove, and look at the wideness of that throw. It gets off the bag. Mauer couldn't go out there to get it. So Lindor gets to third. Napoli gets to second on the error from Sano, and now this inning is set up.
63rd error of the year for Minnesota. And for Sano in particular, that's his 8th.
Yeah, you know, they should have man on second and one out here, but if there's second and third now and nobody out, see if the Indians can take advantage of it.
Jose Ramirez looks at a ball down low.
Now we'll see if he stays with that same pitching pattern, trying to get aggressive early and expand the strike zone. He's trying to minimize damage now.
To left field, that's down near the line, fair ball. Lindor scores. Napoli stops at third. He got a great jump, but Mike Sarbaugh did well to say, hey, there's nobody out. We can't risk getting a guy thrown out of the play. We got a rally going. It's a tie ball game as Ramirez drives home his 39th run on the year.
Mr. Clutch comes through again, takes a base hit the other way. Got a pitch right there. That was a good one to swing at. He didn't try to pull it. His job, he was thinking just get the runner home, and Lindor wanted to make sure. You can see Napoli's right in his back pocket. He read it well. So a base hit for Ramirez. It's a tie ball game, and now they have first and third and nobody out.
Jose Ramirez 4th in the league, batting with runners in scoring position, and he comes through again. Now Lonnie Chisenhall's turn, and a good backhanded stab by Suzuki. But it's ball 1. Double play ball to Dozier. He goes to Nunez for one, back to first. They don't turn the double play, and a run scores 2-1.
You know
Cleveland.
what? It's mind-boggling to me. It looked like Dozier.
He did look home. Yeah.
What for?
I
You
don't know.
take the double play, man. He did not do that. He looked and hesitated a minute, and I think it upset the timing of this double play. Nunez gets the ball over, but he short hops Mauer. He can't make the play. That should have been a routine double play. The Indians should have the lead 2-1, which they do, but nobody on base. Chisenhall should have been out, but they just didn't turn it.
You know what, Rick? I think you're right. Dozier's hesitation, what it did is it forced Nunez to have to speed up his throw, and he spiked it into the ground.
That's exactly right. It messed with the timing. I don't know why he was even looking home.
Well, you wonder.
See, that's not an error, but that's a mental mistake there.
You wonder sometimes when a team has made as many fundamental mistakes as the Twins have made this year, do you start trying to make up for it by doing something that you normally wouldn't do? Well, I've got to make up for that error we made and try to get it back here, instead of just taking the out, doing what you normally do.
You know what? Make all the routine plays is what your manager wants you to do at the big league level. You don't have to make anything spectacular. Just make the routine plays and make them every day, and you'll be a good defense.
Well, the Twins absolutely gift wrapped this inning.
They did.
For the Indians, and the Tribe took advantage.
And it's still going. There should be 2 out and nobody on, but let's see if they can take advantage of that mistake there.
Gomes fouls one into the Indians dugout, and he's upset with himself, I think, because that ball was probably not a strike. He's trying to carry some discipline with him to the dish and swing at strikes, because I think he feels like he's gotten himself out far too many times this year. Two and two.
Well, he tried to get him to chase right there, and he laid off.
Well, don't you think that's the book? Every scouting report that's floating around right now is saying, get ahead of Gomes and don't throw him a strike.
Throw him up here above the belt and throw him, bounce one in the dirt, and see if you get him to chase, because he's done it all year. His confidence is down. He's got to remain patient. He's getting good pitches to hit. He's just not hitting them.
Well, and it seems like over the last several weeks, when he has, he's barreled one up and hit it right at somebody.
Yeah, that's true too. Now, the times he has hit the ball hard, it's been right in the tracks. I wish he could go to the plate and someone could take his brain out of his head and leave it in the dugout and just go up and see the ball and hit it, not think.
Blown away, full count.
So he's had a full count at both at bats tonight. But now this is where you have to remain patient.
Runner goes, and Gomes with a liner caught by Mauer, and Gomes throws his hands to the heavens and says, what else can go wrong this year for me? The Indians do score a pair, and they take a 2-1 lead, but Mauer with a diving stab ends an Indians threat. The Indians on top, 2-1 now. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up for Minnesota. Miguel Sano, who had a base hit in the first, but committed a costly error in the top half of this inning. Takes a strike at the knees. One ball, one strike. Boston jumped out to an early 5-0 lead on the Yankees. They still lead New York 5-3. They're in the bottom of the 6th in the Bronx. Kansas City on top of Detroit 2-1. They're in the 7th in the Motor City. White Sox are out on the West Coast. They're in Anaheim coming up later tonight. Right back up the middle. Kipnis knocks it down. Picks it up. Throws him out. One away. That ball was scalded. And Kipnis able to stay with it.
Yeah, this ball hit hard. Right back Carrasco for the second time tonight. A ball went past him, but Kipnis knocked it down. Jumped on it early. And I'll tell you what, Sano got down the line pretty well there for a big man. But he gets it by a half a step. So you get that leadoff man. Well done.
Up comes Brian Dozier. An RBI in the first inning with a sacrifice fly, counting for Minnesota's lone run. Hammers this one a deep left. If it's fair, it's gone. And it is a home run. And Minnesota comes right back to tie it on the 15th home run this year by Dozier.
Well, we've watched this guy play enough. The times you throw him up in the strike zone and throw him fastballs up there, he's going to take you out of the ballpark. And he did it right here. You're going to see a fastball elevated. They want it away. It's not. It's about belt high, maybe just a little below it. And he just smokes it. That's his zone. And so that's a short-lived lead for the Indians as Dozier hits his 15th, ties the game. He has both RBIs tonight.
Carlos couldn't have walked up there and put it on a tee any better for Dozier.
Although I will say this, most of the home runs hit off Carrasco since he's been back coming off have been the slider. That one was a fastball, but he didn't locate it, or he located it in the wrong spot to the wrong guy.
Now the 0-2 to Max Kepler outside.
One more look at the pitch. Well, that's right down Broadway.
Just a bit outside.
Those are the runs we talked about a lot in that first half that the Indians were pretty good about working on, is the response runs. You know, when you go out there, especially you get on the road, you take the lead, you want to go back out there and have a nice quick inning. Get your offense back in there to score. But
the ironic thing is he had retired 9 in a row before the home run.
Well, they responded, so you know that just stops that momentum that you build. And really what happened is Minnesota burnt themselves last inning, allowing the Indians to take the lead. So they're going to feel a little better about themselves right now. They were able to tie it right back up.
Kepler sends a fly ball to left. Davis shy of the warning track. 2 away.
Well, you can enjoy Sugardale Dollar Dog Night post-game fireworks show. That'll take place July 29th when we return home. The Oakland A's will be in town. There'll also be Budweiser cans, $2 in the district from 5 to 7. 10,000 fans will get this, an ugly Christmas t-shirt courtesy of Papa John's. Now what that means, I don't know. Go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Down in the dirt, ball 1 to Kenny Vargas. The Indians actually will come home after this long road trip and face the Washington Nationals in a 2-game series that should be a lot of fun. Nationals 54-36 coming out of the All-Star break, leading the NL East by 6 games over both Miami and New York. Bryce Harper, Strasburg, that whole crew. They'll be in Cleveland on the 26th and 27th of July. Then the off day. Then Oakland comes in for the weekend.
That's right.
And then these Twins will be in to round out that homestand.
You know, they were talking about tonight on the pregame about, you know, this being a 9-game, 10-day road trip. Cripes, our last 3 trips have been 3 city trips. And then after this one, we get off. We don't have a road trip longer than 7 days, which is beautiful.
Yeah, no more 3 city trips after
no
this one.
siree. Finally, we paid our dues.
Tribe does still have. I thought we had 2 trips out west.
No, we've got
just
one. We got Oakland
yeah.
and Texas. 4-gamer in Texas.
That's it.
And that's only a 7-game trip.
It's hit pretty well to left, but Davis again, he's playing deep. And it ends up a routine catch. Brian Dozier launches one right down the left field line, just inside the pole, and we are tied at 2. Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. Well, I tell you what, it has been just spectacular here in Minneapolis today. We got in last night and it was raining, but woke up this morning, it was cool. I mean, most of the country, I think, is just sweltering.
Yeah, hot, humid. Well, this is a beautiful town here in Minnesota.
75 degrees at game time tonight.
Great ballpark.
No humidity.
Yeah. Just perfect. Was it last year or a couple of years ago? We came here after the break. Remember, it was about 100. Yeah, we had a doubleheader we had to play, and I mean to tell you, it couldn't have been any hotter.
Well, we're going to make up for it the rest of this road trip. Kansas City and Baltimore. Looks like it'll be sweltering in those two spots for sure.
Yeah, that usually is in the summertime.
Tyler Naquin tries to pull it foul.
All right, let's see if he goes to work now on Tyler, the younger hitter. See if the veteran tries to get him to swing at his pitch.
Naquin drew a walk his first time up. Threw it by him, elevated the fastball, and that'll be his fourth strikeout tonight. Take a look at our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball. Eric Hosmer took home the MVP honors. A couple of runs batted in. About Bo Jackson back in 1989. He homered to start that All-Star game.
Yes, he did. Oh, I'm thinking he was going to get it called. He wanted to. I don't know if he pushed that bat out.
Rajay out on strikes his first time up.
Yeah, he was able to get Rajay to chase the slider out of the zone.
Down the right field line, and a nice running catch by Kepler. 2 down. Our great clip of the game from the All-Star Midsummer Classic, Corey Kluber. He gets an assist on that, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Scoreless inning of work. And he ended up with the win as the American League took the lead after his excellent job. Some irony in that Corey goes back to San Diego
Right.
for the All-Star game, which is where the Indians got him from in the Jake Westbrook trade.
That's true. And he was the first pitcher since Bartolo Colon back in '98 to get a win as an Indians pitcher in an All-Star game.
Down in the dirt. They forget that Kluber trade back then was a 3-way deal with the Padres, the Indians, and the Cardinals.
Yeah, Westbrook.
Nick went to, or rather, Jake went to St. Louis, and Ryan Ludwig went from St. Louis to San Diego in that deal.
Yes, I remember that.
Two down, bases empty, 2-2 ball game, 2-2 pitch on the way. Strike 3 called, and the inning is over. 5 Ks for Irvin Santana. Halfway through, we're dead even in Minnesota. The home half of the 5th inning. Bottom third of the order due up here for Minnesota. Carlos Carrasco gave up a run on the first, couple of singles, a wild pitch and a sac fly counting for that run. And then after he had set down 9 straight, a solo home run by Brian Dozier tied the game at 2 for Minnesota. Grossman chases a first pitch in the dirt, strike 1.
You know, that tells me that Grossman didn't pick up that spin on that slider. Such a good pitch. They're looking first pitch fastball. He couldn't hold up there.
And there are some hitters, not saying this particularly about Grossman, but in general, there are hitters who will go up and guess first pitch. Hey, I'm sitting on a fastball, and even if it's not a fastball, they're still swinging.
Well, yes, but so far, Carrasco, 2 pretty good pitches coming out of the chute.
And oh, he had him rung up, but for some reason, Vanover does not pull the trigger. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, it's outside. Wrapped around the plate a little bit.
If you're buying pitch tracks. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Three straight have missed off the outside corner. If he didn't call the first one, he's not going to call the next 2. From 0-2 to 3-2, the payoff pitch. And it's a leadoff walk. The injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Good news is Michael Brantley's back playing again. So is Roberto Perez. Brantley's been swinging the bat well, and Terry Francona said yesterday, this is the most encouraging day of the whole process because he's not playing and he feels great. There have been no setbacks, well, he's a little bit sore, let's sit him out day. Everything has been positive and moving forward. So we'll keep our collective fingers crossed and hope it continues to go that way. At some point, he's scheduled to play back-to-back games. Maybe Andre knows more about that.
No, a little bit. Brantley did play tonight in Akron for the Rubber Ducks. He went 0 for 4. The best news, as you were just talking about, is before the game. And this morning, he felt great. If he feels good tomorrow morning, you expect him to play in his first back-to-back game tomorrow for the Akron Rubber Ducks as they're playing down in Akron. And so far, things look really good for Mike Brantley.
Yeah, that's really good news because, as Terry said, look, when we get him back, we want him to play every day.
Yeah.
And he can't do that until he plays back-to-back every day.
As much time as he's missed, he's got to prove that he's ready to go and he's ready to play, and you don't have to worry about that shoulder again. Another setback, and next thing you know, the year's over.
Kurt Suzuki flied out his first time up. I could be dead wrong, and I may be reading more into it. I get the feeling it's not going to be a lengthy rehab assignment situation.
I'm not thinking about it. We felt that way from spring training. He came back quickly. We saw him play a game, and everyone said, oh boy, he's ready to go. And that was in spring training.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to wait till he gets back up here and he's ready to play.
Ground ball foul. Well, it's fine. You sit on the sidelines. You sit this one out. That's okay.
I'm going to. I'm biding my time. I can't wait till he gets in the lineup and he's back playing. I'm not going to get psyched up for it. When I see him out there, it'll be ready to go.
1-2 the count on Suzuki. He flied to right on the first pitch he saw in the second inning. Over his last 20 games, he's batted .400. Good crowd on a Friday night here at Target Field. Despite the dismal performance of the Twins to this point, 32-56. Missed inside, full count. He's wasted a lot of pitches to the 7 and now 8 hitters in the lineup for Minnesota to start this inning.
Well, he got ahead of them, and you know, after in this at bat, Suzuki fouled a couple off. He's back to a full count. So yeah, it's almost like he's getting ahead and then maybe nibbling, and they're not getting after it. It'll be interesting to see if he starts him here in this situation now. Full count, nobody out, try and create a hole. Does he have the confidence that he believes Suzuki can put the ball in play off Carrasco? You're at the bottom of the lineup. It would not surprise me if Molitor does that.
He's only struck out 2 to this point. The runner goes and a foul right back.
As you mentioned, he's been swinging the bat very well, so a lot of times go ahead and start your runner. You've got nothing to lose, especially down at the bottom part of your lineup. Nice move.
Oh, baby. Grossman was going towards second base when Carrasco spun and fired to first, and Napoli slapped it on him.
That's not good. That'll get you in trouble with your manager. You have to wait until he goes to the plate, but Carrasco put his A move on him, and he did have him. Boy, they tagged him. Grossman out, and that's manager doesn't like that. You have to wait. He's not expecting you to steal the base. He says you just go ahead and you start running, because I think my guy's going to put it in play. So that's a big out right there for Carrasco with that situation the way it was, and they were off and running.
The 3-2 and a foul back. That's the 9th career pickoff for Carlos Carrasco. First on the year.
It was a nice quick move, or quick feet, you know, and he picked the right time to do it, and for whatever reason Grossman took that half step to second base. I don't know why.
So much of it is timing. We saw Lindor almost get picked off because his foot was in the air and he couldn't get anything momentum wise going back toward the bag. He did just beat the tag. High pop, right field. Suzuki flips the bat in despair. 2 down.
Just watch his feet, and boy, it was quick. He turned it over. He knew he had a chance for him too, because he saw him break, and he was waiting for the throw. Right on the money. The tag by Napoli. You got yourself an easy out there.
Well, and Sandy Alomar told me back in spring training that when you're coaching first base, one of the things you're looking for is how accurate is a guy with his pickoff throws, because that can be
with
deadly.
Quick feet. Yes, he can.
It's one thing if a guy's got quick feet, but where's he throwing it? If the guy's got to reach for it to bring the tag down, you can still beat that play.
Got him.
And it did get him, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
So Byron Buxton will be aboard with 2 down. Let's go back. We were talking about Josh Tomlin when we talked to Sandy back in Arizona.
The one thing that I see in Josh that I would tell my runner if I'm running, I say don't establish your lead until he's completely set, because he rarely picks when he's completely set. But he has quick feet, short arm, and firm. And those are the three things that are very hard for a runner to get a jump. If you have quick feet, short arm, and firm to first base, and on top of that he's accurate to the bag, it's very hard to establish a lead on him.
I like what he says, the short arm right here, because you know you can get it to first base, and usually it's like a catcher throwing to second, and you short arm, and you can be much more accurate that way. Some pitchers can't do it. They got to get the long throw, and it's easy to get back as a base stealer.
Fouled off. Yeah, there's so much that goes into the running game, and really in the last 10, maybe 15 years, a lot has gone into stopping the running game with pitchers.
Oh yeah,
not just the catchers anymore.
Control the running game, yes.
Yeah, it's almost, Rick, when you think about it, we almost rarely see a pitch out anymore. You know, during Sandy's era when he was catching, you'd see pitch outs if you thought that the other guy was going to run. Nowadays, you almost never see it because the pitchers are so quick to home plate with the side slip maneuver. You almost don't need to pitch out unless you just want to make sure the hitter can't put the, so if you're thinking maybe hit and run or something of that nature, you don't want the hitter to be able to get the bat on the ball. But
well, it's difficult nowadays.
oh, he got him again, but he just beat the tag. Oh man, he had Buxton going the wrong direction. If that throw's accurate, he'd have had him picked as well.
Well, he's going to call it. See, he caught him. He slipped a little bit with that feet. He caught him when he was making that one more move to go out to second base. And he sort of slipped coming back, so that'll shorten that lead a little bit here.
It's getting closer with every throw over there. I don't know why guys don't just get out
Shorten
there
your
and
lead.
stop. Exactly.
You know what you do when it gets that close and you've already had one picked up, you shorten your lead. You really do, because hey, Molitor was a base stealer. He knows when it's that close, shorten it. Come back a half a step where you don't have to go diving back and you come close to getting picked off.
Again, crowd doesn't like it, but he is testing Buxton.
Well, you see, he starts so far out back of first base, it makes his angle coming back to the bag a little bit better. He should move up a step and be even with the bag to go back to the backside of the base. And it's a little bit longer where he's leading off of. He has great speed to get even with the bag, man. It's a direct line to second base. He's deep.
Buxton has 6 steals. He hasn't been caught yet. The 1-1 pitch is fouled back. Almost forgot about Eduardo Nunez. Twins all-star, has 30 multi-hit games on the year. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight. Well, with 2 down for Carrasco.
Yeah, get your hitter.
Swung out and missed. He strikes him out
Good
to
job.
end the inning. So Carlos Carrasco walks the leadoff man, but then picks him off. 2-2 through 5.
town, plus Budweiser's out in the right field district, $2 from 5 to 7. It'll be dollar dogs all night long and a post-game fireworks show. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Jason Kipnis is 0 for 2. He struck out on the first. He grounded out with a couple aboard to end the third. Santana pops him up to left, and Grossman grabs it, 1 down. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Jose Ramirez with an RBI single in that 4th inning. And then Lonnie Chisenhall with a little fielder's choice. A terrible defensive inning for Minnesota. The Indians took a 2-1 lead. And Brian Dozier right down the line tied it with a solo smash in the bottom half of the inning. And that's where we stand now in the 6th. Over the outside corner, a strike called. Lindor walked to start that 4th inning. Came around to score. Francisco Lindor and Corey Kluber were both given permission to skip yesterday's workout that the Indians had here at Target Field. Not surprising, neither player skipped the workout. They were both present. In fact, Lindor, not sure about Corey, but I know Francisco, he flew back to Cleveland from San Diego and got on the plane yesterday and flew from Cleveland here to Minnesota. Yeah.
Well, but he really had no break whatsoever.
Hit deep, but fouled on the left side. Said he enjoyed his time at the All-Star game, and I think as a young player you would, because all of a sudden you're with all the big dogs.
Yeah, you are.
Corey Kluber along with Danny Salazar, though Danny did not pitch in the game. Salazar, though, is scheduled to take his next turn in the rotation. Detroit's gone ahead of Kansas City 4-2. They're in the 8th in the Motor City. In the dirt. And a full count for Lindor. Punched it into center field, a base hit.
That is a thing of beauty right there. He just kept his hands back enough and didn't try and do too much, and it looked like it was a changeup. Down and away, he stayed on. That's earning a base hit right here. Let's see this pitch. Little breaking ball down, a slider, and that was an excellent location. Just a great job of getting your bat to that's putting it in play. Man, you get the 2 strikes, put it in play. Good things can happen. He gets a hit.
As you say, it's the old school Pepper approach right there.
Yeah, man. Put it. You get the 2 strikes. There's nothing wrong with changing your approach to put it in play. You need a base runner. He did just that.
Now Mike Napoli, he reached on the throwing error by Sano that set up the Indians' 2-run 4th inning. Napoli shoots one into left, a base hit. Lindor stops at second, and the Indians have 2 on with 1 out.
Well, Napoli continues his streak against Santana. He's reached actually all 3 times, but he's 2 for 3 tonight. Gets the base hit and drives it in the hole between short and third. So now the guy that drove in the first run for the Indians gets another opportunity here. Napoli now 10 for 25 against Santana.
Down on the dirt. Nice block by Suzuki. Trevor May getting loose for Minnesota. And the 1-1 is out of play. All right, here's the now up to date. He began the night with a 377 average, good for 4th best in the American League. Now 386 mark with that base hit in the 4th to drive in a run. I think there's 2 reasons from what I've seen why he's so good in these situations. One, he uses the whole field to hit.
Yeah.
And 2, he's tough to strike out. He will put the ball in play.
You can't strike him out. He's patient. He lays off good pitches, and you know, he doesn't get himself out. He just waits and hope you make a mistake. But you mentioned it, the nail on the head. He uses the whole field.
Right back through Santana. Coming around third with a go-ahead run.
That hurt.
Lindor will score. Santana checking his left wrist.
Yeah.
The Indians lead it 3-2.
That got him on the wrist, and that average is going to go up again. And boy, what a wonderful at bat. He hit a bullet, goes right back up the middle, goes off the wrist of Santana. Look at line drive. Ouch, right off the left forearm. It ricochets into center field. So Jose gives him the lead again. He drives in their first and now their 3rd run on a nice line drive. Scores Lindor. Watch it right off the wrist. Watch this. Ouch. He's going to have a bruise there. And out comes Paul Molitor, so that may do it because he realizes.
Yeah, he's already made the call, Arch.
Oh, okay. I figured he was not going to let him go the 3rd time through.
Jose Ramirez now with a 394 average with runners in scoring position this year.
He's incredible, man. He really is.
He chases Irvin Santana with an RBI single here in the 6th, and the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made for Trevor May. He'll be on when we come back. But those words ring hollow in his ears, I'm sure. Jose Ramirez doing some damage once again tonight.
Boy, he stayed on the first pitch and took it the other way for a base hit to drive in the first run. And then look at that ball down and away, stayed right back up the middle. Hit it off Santana's forearm. But you know, this started with a measly old single, 2 strikes by Lindor to get it going. Then another base hit through, and then the big boy, Mr. Clutch, puts him on the board again. Trevor May coming on in this ball game.
Trevor May is one of 8 pitchers in the Minnesota Twins stat pack. Now 2 of those guys are on the DL, who have an ERA of 5 or higher.
Yeah, he spent some time on the DL. He's just reinstated July 5th. Missed 23 games, had lower back spasms. He's been pitching better, but a big right-hander. He made a start or 2 against the Indians in his career.
Lonnie Chisenhall 0 for 2 with an RBI. Lays off 2-1. Three straight hits with 1 out here in the 6th inning. Chase Irvin Santana, and they've taken the lead for the 2nd time in the ball game.
Another big hit here. Add on. Good hitters count if you're Chisenhall. 3-1.
Chased one down low, ball 3-2 now, full count.
Changeup, I think.
It would have been ball 4, but
yeah, that's one right there. Changeups. He thought he was getting the fastball and helps him out. Well, could have been on first base right there.
And the payoff pitch is smoked to deep right, but it is foul. Just hooked in front of the foul pole down the right field line. I have to say, as you get another look, it was oh so very close.
Yeah, it went in front of the pole, no doubt. It's no question it had the distance.
That 3-2 popped up foul. I was going to say, Rick, I have to say that I like this aggressive version of Lonnie Chisenhall that we've seen over the last month or so.
Well, he's swinging it harder. You know, he's getting after, not feeling for the baseball.
Yeah.
Just make sure you swing his strikes and you're fine.
And there's a 3-2, just foul again.
Everything's changeups. He's not giving in and giving him a fastball.
Cracked that one off the end.
Oh, that's a good look at it right there. That ball hooks. You can see when the left-hander gets out in front, barrel hand, you can see how the ball hooks and it goes foul. If a right-hander was to hit that ball and hit it down that way, it would slice the same way.
1 out in the inning, and Yan Gomes is due up next. And it's ball 4. The bases are loaded.
All right, so he ends up walking.
Let's go down to Andre.
Well, Yan Gomes went back to Tennessee during the All-Star break. He took a day off. Then he watched film of when he hit very well in the past. Then he watched some of what he struggled with in the early part of the season. Then he hooked up with Mike Barnett, who also lives down in Tennessee, and they had a day of hitting. So Mike Barnett, the video replay coordinator for the Indians, was kept busy by Yan Gomes, who's trying to get back into a good mindset now that we're into the second half of the season.
Well, I'll tell you what, he had a little problem in his last at-bat. Did a great job to hit a ball and ended up turning it into a double play after he was patient through the whole at-bat. And I mean, Bauer at first base dives and steals a base hit from him. Instead of first and third, he catches it and turns it into a double play. Now, I don't know what you can do about your mind in that one. That is frustrating. Look at him. I mean, that'll make you talk to yourself.
You kidding me?
But you know what? He's remained patient. He's had full counts in his first 2 at-bats. Remain patient here.
2-0.
And I mean, you'd be amazed how many times you get yourself into good hitters' counts when you can relax and take a deep breath. And you know, the scouting report on you is, hey, he's so aggressive, he'll swing at anything. And there's times he has.
The 2-0 in the dirt, gets away to the backstop, and a run will score as Napoli slides in safely. It's a 4-2 Indians lead on a wild pitch from Trevor May.
You know, when you think about it, he goes with the backhand and doesn't put a body on it when there's guys in scoring position. He did this to pitch before, Matt. Watch, no body movement. He tried to backhand it. And the bases are loaded. You've got to put a body out there. He got away with it the pitch before he picked it. This time it gets past him to the screen. It wasn't a good pitch, but as a catcher, you got to put a body on it with a man on third base. So a wild pitch, and the Indians will take a 4-2 lead now, and certainly take that.
Smoke to third, right at Sano. He comes home with the throw. They've got Ramirez in a rundown, and he is going to be an easy out. So there are 2 down in the inning, and again, Yan Gomes. Sounds like a broken record, but I mean, he's just got to be saying to himself, what do I have to do to have something go my way in terms of a break? He hits this hard, but on one hop, it's right into the glove of Sano.
Yeah, they get Ramirez in the run. Nothing you can do. They get Ramirez in the rundown, so he tags him, but in turn, Gomes goes to second base, gets himself in scoring position. And now it's up to Naquin to see if he can add to a 4-2 lead.
So with 2 down, Tyler Naquin digs in. And he chased a breaking ball in the dirt. For Tyler Naquin, his run of success, especially since June the 1st when he's hit all 9 of his home runs. He said, I'm just starting to feel like I belong. Sticking with my same routine. And he says, you know, look, when you feel like you belong, you feel comfortable, you feel confident. It's just another day at the ballpark. When you don't, every day's a new adventure. You're walking around and you're probably wondering, do I belong? Am I in the right place?
Well, that's what happened to him early this year, right from the outset. When we saw 8 out of our first 11 left-handed pitchers, he didn't play.
Yeah.
So he didn't know if he belonged. You know, he ended up going down. He comes back, and I think he's been used beautifully.
But he strikes out here to end the inning. But the Indians string together 3 hits in the inning, and they played a pair to take a 4-2 lead.
Access to Tribe Rewards. Today's Tribe Reward TV code is Allen. Visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details.
Carlos Carrasco working here in the bottom of the 6th. Joe Mauer leading off for Minnesota. And a fastball strike to the outside corner. Mauer singled and scored in the 1st. He struck out his last time up. Hit pretty well left field. Rajai Davis makes the catch. 1 away. How would you like to ride your bike around the warning track at Progressive Field? It's as simple as that. Or you could be a hardcore guy and you want to ride 50 miles side by side with Sandy Alomar. All you have to do is sign up and be part of the Indians Velosano team. You'll get a free registration and Indians bike jersey. Visit velosano.org to register today. The money raised benefits cancer research. And it's fun for all levels of cyclists. You could be Tour de France mode, or you could be just a guy who runs down the end of your street to grab the mail once a week on your bike.
Yeah, go pick up some milk and bread at the store for me.
Tigers closed out Kansas City, a 4-2 final in the Motor City. That means the Royals have now lost 8 of 11. And they fall into just a game over 500. Detroit goes to 47 and 43. 2-1 the count on Miguel Sano, who singled in the 1st and grounded out in the 4th. Fly ball, right field, long run for Lonnie Chisenhall. He's there and he makes the catch just onto the warning track for out number 2. And up comes Brian Dozier, who has driven in both Minnesota runs here tonight. Paul Molitor may have chosen an unconventional cleanup hitter, but Dozier gets the job done. He has a hit in 34 of his last 44 games. And his home run was a shot right down the line. Fastball that he turned around and it just barely stayed fair.
Well, when Minnesota started this year, they got off to such a horrendous start, and he was all part of it. They just got into a little hole and they dug themselves deeper and deeper, and it took them almost 3 months to get out of it. And he's a big reason, because he's a leader on this team, and his numbers were down. He's been hitting much better lately.
It's funny though how the batting order and the success of each individual is like a domino effect. If one guy's down, it falls to the next guy, and if he starts pressing, then he passes on to the next guy.
And then a manager's just battling, trying to find a lineup he can put out there where you feel good about it, where you're putting up some quality at bats. And you know, sometimes when you're stars, you get off to such a slow start, and the big boys on your team that are paid to do all the work, you know, when that doesn't work, you're in trouble. You don't know what to do. Then it's time to soul search, because you know what, you guys are going to have to get out of it yourselves. I've tried just about everything.
Yeah. 2-2 slow chopper. Kipnis from the shortstop side of the bag throws it out. And Carrasco, given the lead, sets him down 1-2-3. Brought to you by Ford, built Ford tough. By the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. And by Adventure Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Up to 25% off on 2016s. Save now. All right, back here in that Indians dugout. They're feeling pretty good about a 4-2 lead at this point. 3 innings to go. Minnesota goes to the bullpen. Third pitcher of the night is left-hander Taylor Rogers. He's a native of Littleton, Colorado. He was originally an 11th round selection by the Twins 4 years ago. Been a starter his whole career. And now working out of the bullpen here in the big leagues. Rajay Davis 0 for 2 on the night, leading off here in the 7th. Taylor Rogers was originally drafted by Baltimore out of high school in the 37th round. He said no thanks. Went to Kentucky. Pitched 3 years for the Wildcats. Mixed results. I mean, he had an ERA of over 5 and a 5.35 in 45 games. 42 of those were starts. Ball hit to center field. Buxton will make the catch one away. Isn't that something, though, when you think about a left-handed pitcher? Okay, coming out of high school, it's a long shot, 37th round. I get it. Go to college. Then you go to college, your ERA's over 5. You got a losing record. And you end up getting drafted in the 11th round. Still improved his stock a whole bunch.
Yeah, that is. That's incredible.
Obviously, the scouts saw more than just what the numbers indicated that said, hey, this guy's worth a chance.
Left-handers get more of a break than righties, though.
You're probably right there. Right-hander would have been drafted in the 28th round. He might have improved his stock a little bit, but not much. Santana 1 for 3 on the night. He had a base hit in the 3rd. He hit it hard, just missed, hitting another home run here in Minnesota, a place where he's made himself right at home over the years. He has 18 career home runs against Minnesota. We showed you the numbers earlier. Only Jose Bautista has hit more in this park as a visiting player than Santana.
Yeah, the funny thing of that is, you know, we're in the division, so you can see where Santana, I could see where his name would be up on top, but not a guy out of the division coming in here playing probably only 3, at the most 4 games out of the year.
And the 2-2. There are 2 ways to look at that, however. One is, in the division, the opposing pitchers get to know you pretty good. They know your weaknesses, know your holes, if there are any in your swing. And if you come in here once a year, you could just come in here red hot.
Yeah, I'm just thinking number of games played. Usually that gives you better odds.
You would think so. Santana down on strikes. 2 down. Tomorrow, MLB on FS1 is back. Big rivalry. Big Papi and the Red Sox take on Carlos Beltran and the Yankees. And then Jason Kipnis and the Indians take on the Twins on Sports Time Ohio. The action begins at 3:30 on FS1 and then at 7 right here on Sports Time Ohio, or you can stream it all live on Fox Sports Go.
Yeah, the reason why I say that, Redbird just looked it up. Bautista has 14 home runs in 21 games here, where Santana has 11 in 53. So
wow.
That's what amazes me about it.
Big difference.
And he's a right-handed. It doesn't matter, but then when he hits him, he can hit him anywhere. That's impressive. 14 homers, 21 games. I think it's time to just walk him.
There are 2 down in the inning and an 0-2 count on Kipnis. As Taylor Rogers tries to set him down 1-2-3. Kipnis shoots it deep left near the line, racing over foul and out of play. Grossman gave it a long look, but this is another one of those tough fields down the line. When you get deep, there's virtually no foul territory. So if you're going over there with a full head of steam, at some point you've got to stop or you're going to smash into that wall.
No doubt. You got to you go feet first, I would imagine, to slow down there.
Again, the 0-2. Routine bouncer to Dozier. Indians go in order. Stretch time in Minneapolis. It's Cleveland 4, Minnesota 2.
the purchase of an adult ticket. The tickets are located in the family deck at Progressive Field, home to the expanded Kids Clubhouse, and they are only available at Indians.com.
Max Kepler leading off the bottom of the 7th. Feigning a bunt. Took the pitch for a ball.
Well, not a bad idea. They need a base runner, so he's thinking I got to get on base.
He's flying out to left field twice tonight.
Make it 3 times.
Davis, plenty of room back there. Makes the catch. 1 down.
Well, Carlos Carrasco hasn't had his electric stuff tonight, but he's been good enough to really make some solid pitches when he has had to. He struck out 3. He's walked 1. You know, in that 1 walk, guess what? He gets an easy out, picks him off at first base on a 3-2 count. He did give up the home run to let him tie the game, but Carlos is back. He's done a wonderful job. Only 3 hits. He has allowed 2 of them coming in the first inning.
Throwing better than 60% of his pitches for strikes.
This has been a tough place for him to pitch. He's 0-2. This is his 5th start in this building. And, you know, 1-5 in his career against the Twins. And right now he's into the 7th inning.
Got in on Kenny Vargas and popped him up.
Yeah, and looking real good to this point.
2 down. Hey, Art, speaking of great pitching, how about Stephen Strasburg? He is now 13-0 this year.
Wow.
He pitched 3-hit baseball over 8 innings. Now, according to the story I read on MLB.com, Strasburg is the first National League pitcher since at least 1912 to open a season 13-0.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, we may have an opportunity to see him in Cleveland. They come in for 2 games, and plus we go there for 2, so maybe we'll have an opportunity to see him.
How
he
about,
hasn't had a loss yet. Maybe we can tag the first one out.
and the crazy thing is, the last guy to do it is his teammate, Max Scherzer. In the American League, he did it with the Tigers. He started 13-0. The only other guys to do it in the expansion era are all in the American League, and you faced them: Dave McNally, Ron Guidry,
Yeah.
Roger Clemens, and Max Scherzer. You were still around when Clemens came up, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my
When did Roger
farewell
break in?
to baseball.
84 or 86? What was his-
86.
Okay.
No, Roger, it was 84. Yeah, his rookie year, 83 or 84.
86 is when he had that monster, that strikeout
Yeah.
game against Seattle.
He's the last guy facing the big leagues.
Was he really?
Yeah, last day we were in Milwaukee. I mean, in Boston. Of course, I get the chance to play against him that day when we had no chance. He threw a 2-hit shutout on his way to a Cy Young year.
1-2 pitch to Grossman, and he punches it into left center, and that's going to go for extra bags. Grossman in with a 2-out double.
Well, does a nice job of going the other way with this baseball. And there's a pitch right there. Looked like it might have been a little changeup that he stayed on and plugs the gap in left center field. Grossman gets his 11th double, so it's a 2-out double, and it'll bring the tying run to the plate, and it'll also bring Terry Francona out of the Indians dugout, and he's going to his bullpen.
Well, Carrasco just over 100 pitches on the night, and Terry must feel like he's done his job. He's done enough to this point, and he's going to go to the bullpen with 2 down and the tying run at the plate. Jeff Manship is on when we return. as Jeff Manship comes on for the Indians. Manship's 31st appearance of the year comes against his former club, the Twins. And he'll face Kurt Suzuki with 2 down and a runner at second base. And the first pitch is way outside, ball 1. Suzuki has flied to right both times tonight, but he has picked up an RBI, 21 of them in fact in his last 22 games. And that certainly gives Paul Molitor a little more confidence to have a guy in the bottom part of your lineup.
That's what I was going to say. When you're down there in that bottom third of that lineup and you can at least produce a run or get something going to help that, it makes it easier for everybody else once you roll it over to the top of it. And he's just looking here. I'm thinking to go to right field.
Manship gets a strike called, 2-1. Brian Shaw now up in the Cleveland pen. Twins have a left-hander throwing as well. Scooped by Ramirez at third. He'll flip it over, and the inning comes to a close. 7 in the books. It's Cleveland 4, Minnesota 2. Authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Well, Cleveland on top by a pair, 8th inning. New pitcher for Minnesota, their 4th of the evening, right-hander Ryan Presley. He's got the 3, 4, and 5 spots in the Indians order due up here. Lindor, Napoli, and Ramirez. Indians scored 2 in the 4th to take a 2-1 lead. Let me back up. Minnesota got a run on the 1st to take the early lead, and then the Indians got 2 in the 4th to go up 2-1. Minnesota quickly answered with a home run by Dozier to tie it at 2 in the bottom of the 4th. And then the Indians got 2 more in the 6th. And has stayed that way.
Yeah, that's the difference. The crooked number compared to that single.
Lindor has started both Indians scoring rallies tonight with a walk in the 4th and a base hit in the 6th. He scored a pair of runs. And there's a liner to deep left, but Grossman will make the catch. 1 down. Get ready for the fireworks with Premier Boxing Champions. The heavyweight championship of the world is only on Fox. World champ Deontay Wilder faces Chris Arreola tomorrow at 8 p.m. only on Fox. Napoli takes it down low. Mike led off the 2nd with a base hit. Looked like maybe a double, but Buxton played it well off the wall and he threw him out at second base. Then he reached on an error, scored in the 4th, singled and scored on a wild pitch in the 6th. Smashes that one foul left side. Presley running it up there at 97 miles an hour.
Yeah, I watched him pitch before. I just looked up at the board and I said 97, 98. Are you kidding me?
And there's a good off-speed pitch. Go from 97 to 88. Hello. Hung that one a little bit, and Napoli hits it a ton. Deep center field. Buxton's out of room. It's out of here into the Indians bullpen for a towering solo shot, his 19th home run of the year.
How about that? Not only that ball just had that kind of spin, Matty. He hung him a slider, and I mean, he hit it perfectly. It was high, and it just kept on carrying into the bullpens. Wow, he hit that a long way, and it was very high. Here comes the slider, middle of the plate. The barrel head of the bat was certainly out in front of that one. And watch Buxton in center field. You're going to run out of room, pal. This one just keeps right on carrying.
And that's a long way out there. It's well over 400. What, 411 to where he was at. Ramirez pops up, 2 down. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Jose Ramirez made a terrific running catch in foul ground. A lot tougher than it looked, and he made it look. And he's been clutch once again. Twice tonight he's batted with runners in scoring position. Twice he has come up with an RBI single.
He doesn't change this kid, boy. He's continued to do it all night, all year.
Look at the locks too, huh?
Love
he's
it.
Feeling it. Lonnie Chisenhall fouls one out of play. How cool is it? Andre and I were talking about this last night at dinner. During the All-Star break, Andre's like, what do you think Jose Ramirez did? I said, I don't know. He said he went down and watched Michael Brantley play on a rehab assignment. How's that for a great teammate?
He also went to get his hair done somewhere.
Well, he went down. He got his hair. I'll tell you what Tito said after this.
Lonnie Chisenhall lights one in the center
What are you laughing
field.
at, pal?
He said he's a great teammate, but it looks like he went and got his hair cut with his convertible down.
He did. It got some nice color to it as well.
Only guy on the team that can wear that haircut is Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I like it.
But Andre,
That's
talk
the
about that.
top.
That's pretty cool, though, during the All-Star break. Most guys are chilling on their couch, some tropical climate, doing something. He went to watch Brantley on his rehab.
He did. He's close to Roberto Perez as well. And he knows a couple of the guys that are on the single A team. He says he stayed back. He said, why would he not go check him out? He says he loves baseball. So he went down and checked that. He said they were surprised that he was there, but he said he didn't have anything better to do, so why not go be with his teammates?
They were probably trying to get him in a uniform.
Yeah. I think his hair was still dyed. He wasn't allowed to put a helmet on yet.
Tell you what, though, he is having a fantastic season. And a big reason. I know you've talked about it, Rick. He's a big reason why they've
without a doubt. For me,
success.
he's the biggest reason for me. This guy you didn't expect anything from. And he's just walked in and he's hitting into the middle part of the lineup. I got to tell you, he's the biggest surprise for me. And he's been great for this team. And he's a different person. He's come out of the shell, and I think Uribe's one guy that's helped him get out of it. Or at least has given him somebody to talk to. You know, to make him, just grow up a little bit.
You know who else?
Let's not forget he's only 23.
You know who else? Mike Napoli.
Yeah.
You go in a clubhouse, Napoli's playing cards with him, trying to bring him out.
Right, and has been. You're right.
Yeah. Well, here's Yan Gomes, 0 for 3 tonight. He's had 3 good at bats. I think he's had 3 good at bats. It's just
he has.
He's had nothing to show for it. A couple of really tough results. He lined into a double play, hit with another seed right at the third base.
He's been in hitters counts in every single at bat tonight. So I mean that's a bonus in its own right.
One out of play, full count.
You can only put yourself in a position to succeed up there. You know, when you get up there and you're swinging at everything and you're down in the count, that's a tough way to go. But when you have opportunities and you can be patient, and which he has been tonight, that's going to have to carry over, even though he's had a couple of tough breaks. He's going to have to do this for an extended period of time.
Runner goes, and a diving stop by Dozier. Unbelievable. If you're Yan Gomes right now, the old saying, if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. But Mike Napoli's singing a different tune as the Indians lead it 5-2. Uribe giving Yan Gomes a hug.
Yeah, he needs hugs, all right, and he needs base hits. You keep swinging it like that, they're starting to come.
Brian Shaw on for the 42nd time this year. Trying to protect a 5-2 lead now here in the 8th inning. It is something about this game, how it tests everybody.
Yes, it does. It'll test you.
I mean, we don't see him every day, but I'm sure there was a time at some point in his career, even a hitter like Miguel Cabrera went through a phase where he wondered. Because even the great ones, nobody's immune from it.
It's a very humbling game to everyone.
But what Yan Gomes is going through this year,
It makes you a better person, man, if you can get over it and get through it. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. The first couple of times he couldn't believe it. He thought, man, all right, we had 4 or 5 days off. I'm going to come back. It's going to be a new me. Well, he worked hard at it. And I'll tell you what, he's been taken from actually 3 hits tonight. He could have 3 hits very easily. But John, stay in there, big guy. Keep the chin up and just keep busting it, because they got to start falling.
And you know, I'd go back to what Ty Van Berkeley said a year ago, as Buxton swings and misses, about Francisco Lindor. Remember when Frankie came up, it wasn't instant success. He went through
his first 100 at bats were tough,
and he was going through a phase where he was hitting the ball hard, but there were no results. And that's what can sometimes test a guy's confidence and patience. And Ty said we all had to keep reinforcing it of, hey, the at-bats are good. The results will come. You're barreling the ball up. You're squaring up. The hits are going to come. And he stayed with the process. He didn't try to change or panic. And the hits did start to fall.
That's where you have to believe in yourself as a player. You have to have self-confidence, and you've got to really believe it.
Shaw blows it by Byron Buxton for out number 1.
There's another cutter right on the outside edge. Good pitch. Gets the swing and miss, and out number 1 here in the 8th.
Top of the order, Eduardo Nunez. He's 0 for 3. Fly to right, grounded out, and struck out tonight. We mentioned that after the Yankees left Cleveland, they were going home for a homestand coming out of the All-Star break that would feature Boston, Baltimore, and San Francisco. It's truly a make-or-break homestand for the Bronx Bombers, who started the day at 500, and they lost tonight to the Red Sox 5-3. And that was I think that's the knuckleballer Steven Wright.
Yes, it was.
Beat Pineda.
Well, as we mentioned, when they were in town playing us, they're getting back into their division. They played the fewest games within their division of anybody. So they're going to get the likes of Boston, Baltimore.
That's a long way to foul. A couple of 2-run homers in that game for the Red Sox were the difference. Baltimore won. They beat Tampa 4-3, so the Orioles are now 8.5 up on the Yankees, and they stayed 2 games in front of Boston. But that East is very tight when you talk about Baltimore, and then Boston and Toronto both started the day 2 games back. Texas started the second half with a 5.5 game lead over Houston in the AL West, so the Astros aren't dead yet. They've really put themselves back in the hunt.
Oh, they certainly have. Oh, that's a nice pitch.
Boy, I tell you what, he's had a nasty cutter. That's a couple of strikeouts. Here's the night for Yan Gomes in a nutshell, if you missed it. Line drive caught by
Double
Bauer.
play. Yeah, that one now, see, that was his first one. He can't believe he came back. This one he hits right on the nose. Hey, look it, you hit it well, nothing you can do it right at him. There's another one, a diving stop. I'll tell you what, Jan, keep your chin up, buddy. See, he's better. It's sinking in. There's a hug. The veteran comes out. Come on, don't feel bad, and that's a good thing. You need that, man.
Sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep hustling. They're gonna start falling. Hey, I've always said there'd be days like this.
She didn't say there'd be months like this, though.
Well, that's where she better learn and start telling them. Yeah, not months or year.
That's what one of Grover's favorite sayings was. There was a lot they didn't tell me when I signed on with his outfit. Joe Mauer is 1 out of 3. He singled in the first, and he scored on a wild pitch. That was the Twins' first run tonight. Their only other run came on a solo homer by Dozier in the 4th. Just a bit outside, and Mauer lives to see another pitch. Indians have been aggressive. They've attacked Mauer tonight. He has 50 walks on the year. On base percentage of .372, which sounds good, but I mean, he's had years in the past where his on base percentage was .440, close to .450.
Well, you know, he walks a lot, man. He takes a lot of pitches. He reaches base. You know, he had that string going. I think it was this year, earlier in the year, where it's 38, 39, 40 straight games.
And here he goes from 0-2 to 3-2.
Yeah, he's not gonna swing at a bad pitch out of the zone. You're gonna have to get him out.
That's why it was surprising when Carrasco struck him out in the third on a breaking ball in the dirt. You just don't see him very often chase, but
That's
he did
true.
that time. Now the payoff pitch. Shaw challenged him. He fights it off, but he fights it off the other way, and that's vintage Joe Mauer. Stays back, thinks opposite way up the middle. But look, there's been years in Mauer's past, which is what landed him the huge contract that they doled out for him, in which he did hit for some power. Not.
Well, he played over in the dome, and it was
28
a lot
home runs.
easier hitting in that ballpark than it is in this one. In the first couple of years, the ball didn't carry in this park for whatever reason.
Hit 28 home runs in '09. By far a career best. Since then, his home run totals read like this: 9, 3, 10, 11, 4, 10.
Yeah, he's an average hitter and wants to get on base.
Lindor backhands it, fires, got him. And Shaw works a 1-2-3 8th inning. We go to the ninth, 5-2 Cleveland. Features Mike Napoli, who has 3 hits in the ballgame. This one a little overzealous on the base pass, thrown out, trying to stretch it into a double. But there was a solid single to left. He scored a run in the 6th, and then he hit a mammoth, towering home run. Well over 400 feet into the bullpen. So Napoli, 3 hits, 1 RBI, 3 runs scored.
Yeah, all those 3 hits for Mike coming on the breaking ball. Sliders.
Came in tied for 5th in the league with 61 RBIs. Jose Ramirez right there talking to Matt Quatraro. He's had a good night swinging the bat. Ramirez with 2 RBI hits, both coming with runners in scoring position. Michael Tonkin, 39th appearance this year.
Tonkin leads the Twins relievers with 53 strikeouts this season. Well, and also with the kind of starting pitching that the Twins have received this year, this guy's up there in the league as far as innings pitched coming out of the bullpen. 42 2/3 innings coming into tonight.
Tyler Naquin shoots one to second with Dozier. Had to back up on it, but he makes the play, 1 away. Keys to the game recapped by Mazda. Get Santana before he gets to the slider. The Indians did a pretty good job. He looked like he had his A game coming out of the chute. First 3 innings he held him to 1 hit, but they knocked him out in the 6th with 3 consecutive hits, tagged him with 4 runs, 3 earned.
I saw more changeups out of Santana tonight than I've
sliders?
seen in the past. Yeah.
He threw a healthy dose of sliders, but
yeah. But I've never seen him throw that many changeups, which was very effective. And I've noticed a couple of their relievers. It seems like the last time we played them. And now this is just the first game. It could be, you know, I could be crazy, but it seems like they've thrown more changeup than they have in the past. We'll see throughout the course of this series and file it.
you know, sometimes the difference between a really good team and a team that's not having a great year isn't as evident in one game. But over the course of a series, it'll probably show up. You know, there's sometimes I think in baseball, there's a really fine line between winning a game and losing one.
At this level, no question.
You know, you think, well, the Indians have 52 wins. Minnesota only has 32 wins. They should just go out and dominate. Now, you know, if you were 10-2 in football and you were playing a team that was 2-10, you'd probably from the get-go see the difference in the two teams. But in baseball, because of that guy in the center of the diamond has such a
fine line,
big say in what happens in that game, yeah, it doesn't always show up. But the little things, the one costly error that Minnesota made, and that's been a problem that has been recurring this year for them.
Yes, and you know, when you look at the overall numbers, the batting average, you know, it's similar. The runs scored, the home runs, the doubles, triples. I mean, it's similar. It's not a big difference, really, when you look at it. It's the center of the diamond is where the difference is, where the Indian starters have been outstanding and the Minnesota's has not been. Matter of fact, they have the highest ERA of anybody in their starting pitching.
And even though it wasn't an error, it was in that same inning that Dozier inexplicably looked toward home instead of quickly throwing to second. That cost him a double play. Might have cost him another run right there when you think about it.
Well, I'm looking down at my card. It's Lindor who has scored 2 runs. Napoli has scored 3. They've done all the work tonight.
Good inning of work for Michael Tonkin, but now it's up to Cody Allen to close the door for Cleveland. By Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Look at Alan Jensen, huh? Looking sharp, boys. They're on site. They'll be with us all road trip long as we go from Minnesota to Kansas City to Baltimore. So stay right here after the ball game. They're going to break it down along with Andre. Indians trying to start this road trip off with a W. And Cody Allen comes on to face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the ninth. He has the luxury of working with a 3-run cushion as he seeks his 19th save of the year.
Well, and he's going to go through the heart of the lineup. 3, 4, and 5 for the Twins.
Miguel Sano, Brian Dozier, Max Kepler due up. A reminder, tomorrow night we'll start at, let's see, what is that, 7:30?
6:35, yeah, 7 that back east.
7:30
yes.
local time back in Cleveland. Indians Live will come your way back in Cleveland at 7 o'clock. A little bit of an odd start time because the Twins have Hall of Fame induction ceremonies this week. They're inducting Torrey Hunter into their Hall of Fame tomorrow, and then longtime radio voice John Gordon on Sunday afternoon. Miguel Sano 1 for 3. His single came in the first. He's grounded out, flied out since then. And a fastball strike. 2-1. Threw it by him. Good heat from Cody Allen, 96 miles an hour. Now the 2-2, no time call, just as Cody was about to rock into that windup. And on his hands, fouled back. And the 2-2 almost chased after it, but he held up full count. Indians went into the All-Star break with the second best record in the American League, second only to Texas, and 5th best in all of Major League Baseball. Held on to the top spot in the division for almost 6 weeks now. Struck him out looking with a straight fastball, and I don't know what Sano was looking for, but it wasn't that. That was there.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was some quick drying paint right there on the outside edge. Look at that. That's a perfect pitch right on the outside corner. Fastball. Too close to take, and he will go back to the dugout. Just a perfect pitch by Allen.
In addition to the 52-36 record, and a big reason why they've had so much success has been the pitching. And that plus 81 run differential going into the All-Star break. That was the best in the American League. 4th best in all of baseball, and they're going to add to that total tonight. back on the outside edge, and Dozier doesn't like to call. It's 2-1.
Well, it's been a low strike zone all night long, right from the very first inning.
Threw it by him, 2-2. Tribe's 26-11 record in the division. The best divisional record of any team in baseball this year. And looking to go to 27-11. 2-2. Just a bit outside. You know, the funny thing, Rick, is there wasn't a great deal of talk about, hey, we've got to play better in the division. Most of the talk in spring training was about, got to get off to a better start. Got to play better early in the season. And it's not like they set the world on fire in April. They just weren't maybe as bad as they've been previous couple of years in April.
Agreed, Matty, agreed. I think, you know, this has all come about from just watching how things work in the division the last couple of years. They realized that, hey, boys, we got to hold our own because, hey, the world champs are in your division.
Yeah.
You're playing them 19 times. You want to come out, you know what? You're going to have to beat them. And even though they lost to every team in the division last year, they were 9-10, you know, to
close
a couple
battles.
of really close battles. But I'll tell you what, I think they realized it, and that they've just taken it to them this year. But it shows you how important it is, the way they just dominated. You know, they beat the Tigers 11 straight games before the Tigers win one. You give them a 500 record, and it
changes things in a hurry.
It changes the whole complexion.
Now the 0-1. Hard hit ground ball right to Kipnis. He sets, he throws, and the Indians are right back in the win column as they go to 53-36 on the year, beating Minnesota by a final score of 5-2. Carlos Carrasco, the winner, is now 6-3. Cody Allen, his 19th save of the year. Losing pitcher Irvin Santana, he's 3-8. Twins now 32-5.